Hello ladies and gents, in this video we will add some quick filters for our application so we can quickly filter our products according to the units in stock. But first I want to make some minor tweaks in our application. First I will go to our list and column list item, and I will first make this status column a little smaller as well. So I will also give it a width of 15% here, and let's also align it horizontally in the center. And I will also remove this inverted because I think it's a bit too much in terms of styling. Let's see, this looks cleaner. And I will also change the binding of this contact name, so our supplier column, from contact name to company name, because it just makes more sense. Okay, this looks better. Now the next thing I want to fix is this error right here. We can see a depreciation warning that importing the value state as a module is deprecated. So what we'll do is we will go to our formatter file, and let's see, we are using the value state here and importing it here. And instead of importing it like this, we will just import the core library. Let's call it core library here, and here let's store the value state in a variable. Call it value state equals core library dot value state. And now we can use this variable for our value states. Now let's check again. Looks like we have an error related to our dependency because we need to import this library from the library.js file. Let's add it. And now if we check, that specific error is gone and our app is working again. Now let's go ahead and add an icon tab bar for our quick filters. Let's go to our work list view, and as our semantic page content, we will add an icon tab bar, and let's give it a predefined style class, SAP UI responsive content padding. And next we will need to listen to the select event, and let's name the event handler on select filter. And inside we will have some items which will be icon tab filter controls. And first let's add one for all products. Icon tab filter can be self-closing, and let's say text, it can be products, so i18n products. Let's quickly check if it already exists. I think it does. There's a title, which is fine, and we need a key to distinguish between the tab filters. And the key for this, let's say all. And before adding more filters, let's first add a separator, icon tab separator. Now let's another one. Let me duplicate this. And first one, let's also add icons for these as well. The first one will be for the available products. So let's use the icon which is named message-success. Then the icon color. Let's use the semantic color positive, and text we will say available. Let's create it as well here. Or do we have it already? Don't think so. Available here, and the key, let's say available. Let's make this lowercase as well to be consistent, and we will add two more. First for love on stack and unavailable. Well, let's add those first to our i18n file. And this one will be warning, and this icon will be message error. This icon color again, let's see what we have actually. Critical is the one we're looking for, and this one will be negative. Okay, and now the keys, let's say love on stack here and unavailable. Now as for the content of our icon tab bar, it will just be our table control. So let me cut it from here inside here. This looks okay. Let's see what it looks like. Again, the server seems down. Okay, looks like we have an error in our XML. Let's check quickly. Icon tab bar, we have the items, all self-closing, we have the separator. Maybe this is not the default aggregation, so let's edit content and move this all the way down. Now if we check, yes, exactly. Now we have our filters. I will just make one small tweak for this tab here. It's the first one, and just for styling I will add a property named show all and set it to true. Now it will look centered, which looks better, but it's not capitalized. Let's check why. Okay, we actually don't have a product, or did I misspell it? No, don't think so. So let's add it here. Okay, and now for the filtering itself, let's go ahead and implement our select event handler with this name. Let's go to our worklist controller. Here are our event handlers, and in here all the way down, let's add another one. We will need the event object. Let's also add some JS stock comments here. Our parameter will be of type sap.ui.base.event, and as for the name, we can say event object of the icon tab bar select, and here we can say enter the table items accordingly. It's public, so let's just add public here. And in here first, let's get our table binding. All binding equals this dot get view dot by ID, and the ID of our table, which should be just table if I remember correctly, exactly. And then we say get binding, and the binding we will want to filter is the items. And let's also get the key of the selected icon tab. Let's name it as selected key equals, we will get it from the event object, and it's in the parameter named key. And lastly, let's create an empty array for our filters. Let's call it a filter, initialized as an empty array. Now let's create our filters according to the selected key. So we will add a switch case statement according to this selected key. And let's see what we had. The first one should be all. Actually, I will just skip all because we will not need any filters for that one. The next one is available. Let's start with that. And in here we will add a filter to our filters array. So a filter.push, new filter, and we need to import. Oh, we already have it. Nice. So let's just use it. New filter, and we will filter by the units in stock. This should be the name of the field. Let's see exactly, this is the one. And for the available status, we want the items that have at least 20 items in stock. So let's say filter operator dot greater than or equal to, and our value will be 20. Now let's just duplicate this, and which is the next one, low on stock. This is our key. This we will have between. Here we can say it should be between 1 and 19. And lastly, unavailable. Here it should be less than, and we can say just 1. And now that we have our filter array, let's go ahead and filter our binding. And we can simply say binding.filter and just pass in our filter array. Let's now save and check. If I click on available, we see all the items with at least 20 items in stock. Low on stock should be less than 20, and unavailable should be just 0. Now our filtering works, but it would be nice if we just saw some numbers here indicating how many items or products we have for each of these filters or tabs, so to speak. So let's go ahead and also add that. For our icon tab filter controls, we have another property named count. And for these, we will just add some properties to our local view model, which is already here generated from our template. Here it's named worklist view, and it has these attributes. And I will not add the ones for the count here, because when we set it, they will be generated automatically anyway. So let's just give them some names. First, the name of our model, of course, worklist view. And then let's name this count all. Need a slash here. Let's add for the others. Let's add it here. For this one, let's say count available. This one count low on stock. And this one count unavailable. Now let's set these values, and we can do this once our view is initialized. So let's do it in the onInit model. Here let's say first a comment set icon tab count, and here we will create an internal function for that. Let's also name it set icon filter count. And now let's go ahead and implement this. It should be in the internal ones here. Function, we are not using the ES6 this time, so we need the function keyword. And let's add some comments quickly. We don't need any parameters. It will be public. Sorry, it will be private. And then we can just say sets filter tab numbers. Now in here first let's get our model. Our model equals this dot get model, and it will be the default model. And now we will send read requests for each count. Let's start with the first one, all. We say all model.read. First the path, which will be /products $count to get just the count. And then we need the success event handler function. And before we forget, let's also bind this keyword. And in here we will get a count as a response and number. And here we simply set it to our local model. So we say get model, and I think it was named worklist model. Then we say dot set property. And let's see what we named it. For all, it was count all. Let's first check this one before we go ahead and do the rest. Okay, we have an error, reading of undefined. We first need to pass in the value, of course. Again, same error, maybe this is not the correct name. Okay, it should be worklist view, exactly, not model. Still an error, let's see. Apparently this is not working for some reason. Let's try to read it from the component itself. So get owner component dot get model. Okay, now it looks like it works, and we have 77 products in total. And for the rest, let's also do the same. And for the first one, before the success event handler, we of course need to pass a filter. So we say filters. And here let's pass in a new filter. Let's actually copy it from our onSelect filter event handler. So this should be one. Okay, and for the success, we will set count available. Let's remove these and duplicate from this. This should be between 1 and 19, and it should set count low on stack. And this should be less than 1. and the name of the property is count unavailable. And now if we check, we should have 5 unavailable items, which looks correct. 21 low on stock and 51 available. We can also see the count updated here in the title, which was auto-generated by our template, and we can quickly find where that happens. It's here in the update finished event of our table. And in here it's just updating the title. If the length is final, it's just adding the total items to the title here. This will be all for this video, and see you in the next one.